Today, we are going to be talking about how to start your business the right way. I get this question a lot. Like a lot. And from now on, this is kind of like the question. So I did a video or taught a class rather on Facebook and Instagram, I think about 2 weeks ago, that talked about how to name your business. And the reason why I decided to do a broadcast on that is because this is a question that I get so often, like literally probably at least once a week, maybe once a month. Once a month, sometimes once a week. I have someone contacting me to ask me, I'm starting this new business venture. How do I name the business? How do I get figure out what I'm going to call it? So instead of answering that question individually, from now on, I'm going to send people to watch that video and they can get the lesson from the video. So it's the same kind of mindset behind this. Some point last year, I posted to both Instagram and Facebook, and I think maybe LinkedIn, and I asked people what did they want to know about business. If somebody created a free resource, whether it was a book, whether it was a webinar, a live broadcast, whatever it is, if somebody created a free resource for you to help you in business, what is the topic that you would need the most help with? Most people talked about starting a business. Most people said that if they could get help with any area of business, it would be how to start and how to start the right way. How do you know which information you can trust? How do you know which information you can use? How do you know, where to begin? And this is a question that I not only got a lot of responses to, or a lot of people said that they wanted to know about this when I posted that question. But this is something that people have been wanting to know literally since I started my business. I just started business consulting officially about 4 years ago. But for years before that, I was doing it unofficially because people would come to me and ask me, how did you start your business? How did you do this? How did you do that? And I was helping other people to start these businesses. And one day I kind of had this aha moment, and I'm like, I need to formalize this. I don't want the information to be all over the place. I want them to be some sort of system and structure and order to the information that I am giving so that it's easy for people to consume. And that's what prompted me to start the consulting side of what I do. Again, the reason why is because I was getting so many questions about, how do you get started? How do you make money in your business? How are you self-employed? How do you maintain self-employment? So last week, let me see. So literally almost 2 weeks ago to the day. So on February 1st, I did a live broadcast on the 3 keys to starting a sustainable business. This broadcast that we're going to do today on how to start your business the right way, how to avoid the pitfalls of starting a business, is really kind of like a part 2 to that lesson. So if you did not see the lesson that took place on February 1st, you can go to my YouTube channel, and on my YouTube channel, you'll be able to watch that video and to get the 3 keys that I shared for starting a sustainable business. Now, again, today we're going to talk about how to avoid pitfalls in those beginning stages. I shared with you all on both Facebook and Instagram, probably about 2 weeks ago. So a lot of these things happened about 2 weeks ago, that I was really going to be spending the month of February and dedicating it to those individuals who are starting out, right? And again, it's because I know what that's like. I know what it's like to be in the beginning stages. I know what it's like to have questions and to not have anyone to answer those questions. When I started my business, I had a mentor who kind of guided me through the beginning stages of doing the official things. So getting the EIN number, naming my business, all of those things, right? That I had someone who was a mentor to me to guide me through those beginning stages. But when I got done with the official stuff, yes, I'm in Philly. When I got done with the official stuff, a lot of people didn't want to help me, right? I really struggled to find help. So the first year and a half of business ownership, I did it without any guidance. I also struggled a lot in my first year and a half. I felt a lot of pain in the first year and a half, which is why I'm so passionate about the work that I do now. And why when people come to me with these questions about their careers and about their businesses and how they can start and how they can take them to the next level and how do you actually make money as a business owner, that's why I do what I do. That's why I do, these classes, and that's why I have the consulting programs and all of those things that I do have. And the reason, again, is because I know what that feels like. So if there are any questions, I will answer the questions at the end of the broadcast for the sake of keeping the flow going. So for those of you who join us, on a daily basis, because I'm pretty much on here almost every day, on a daily basis, you guys know that we'll hold questions until the end. I'll answer all the questions at the end. So you got to stick around so that you can get your questions answered. All right. So keep putting them in the comment box, continue to stay engaged with me, and I'll come back to them. So let's get into what we're going to talk about tonight. Again, we are talking about starting a business the right way. How is it that you can avoid starting the pitfalls that come along with starting? How can you avoid those areas of pain? Now, the thing is that I wish that I could save all of you from all of the pain that you are going to experience as you start your business. I really do wish that I could save you from every single pain, but experience is truly the best teacher. There are some things that you're going to have to learn, and I tell my clients this all the time. There are some things that you are going to have to learn on your own through experience in order for you to fully get it and to fully understand it. But then there are some things that you can learn to cut out the pain of it all, right? Some things that can be taught to you by other people to help you cut out all of the pain that is connected to some of those lessons. So it's like your parent coming to you and telling you, I'm going to teach you how to cook, right? This is a perfect analogy. I'm going to teach you how to cook. You don't know how to cook. This is something that I have to show you hands-on, right? We got to get in the trenches. We're going to have to get our hands dirty. You're going to have to learn about ingredients and what flavors, what they taste like, what goes well together, what doesn't go well together. When you combine things, what's going to happen, what type of chemical reactions happen as a part of using certain ingredients in the cooking process, right? So your parents come to you and they teach you. They give you that hands-on. This is where you are in the kitchen every single week learning how to cook. You're in there chefing it up. You're making some mistakes, but you have someone walking alongside of you, right? That's who I am. I'm the lead chef, right? I'm the cook who's going to show you the perfect recipe to make your business be what you desire for it to be. But then there are also going to be some lessons that I'm just going to tell you, and I need you to not do it, right? There are some things, so I'm going to give you, for example, these pitfalls to avoid. You don't have to fall into them in order to learn them. So a prime example, the stove is hot, don't touch it. You don't need to touch the stove in order to, give me 1 second, guys. Got people texting me. You don't have to touch the stove in order to learn the lesson, right? You don't have to touch it in order to know that it's hot. If I'm telling you that is a pitfall, and if you get into it, you're going to hurt yourself, you're going to injure yourself, you're going to burn yourself. You don't need to you don't have to fall in order to know that it's going to burn you. I'm telling you that the stove is hot, right? So that's what I'm doing today. In our recipe building and in the process of crafting and curating and creating a recipe for success in business, I am going to tell you the areas that will be hot, the areas that will burn you, and the areas that will hurt you so that you never have to touch them. Now, if you decide to go ahead and still touch the stove knowing that it's hot and you get burned, that's your own fault. But you have someone here right now, me, who is telling you what to do and what not to do, those pitfalls that you can avoid, right? Again, there's going to be some lessons that I can teach you in a private program, that I can teach you in a group program, that you can learn through a webinar or through an ebook, right? And then you're going to have to go out out there and try it, and you may get it right. When you try the recipe, you may get it right, you may get it wrong, you may add too much sugar, you may have to take some sugar away, you may add too much salt and say, you know what, next time I'm definitely not going to do that. There are some things that you're going to have to learn through experience, though you have the recipe. But tonight's lesson is giving you that information that you should never have to learn, because I'm going to help you save yourself from the pain of it. Okay. So again, I'm really, really excited about these tips. Please take again another moment to invite someone so that they will also learn the pitfalls that they should avoid in starting a business. If you want to know how to start a business the right way, and this is the thing, I pay attention to how people ask me questions. When I posted this question to social media and I got all of these responses, this question, this answer was phrased in a couple of different ways. But the thing that really stood out to me the most, right, was how do I start the right way? And I think that it's so important to talk about starting a business the right way. One, because a lot of people get into business ownership simply to make money. And what I'm going to tell you now is that if you're getting into business ownership simply to make money, it's the wrong reason. You're already starting on the wrong reason. You're starting on the wrong path. Now listen, you don't stay in business by not making money, but if you get into business to make money, only to make money, then what's going to happen is that when the clientele is not flowing as freely and as openly as you think that it should, you're going to lose heart. When you don't have your appointment calendar booked up every single week, when some days you only have one appointment, some days you may have no appointments, some days you have 50 appointments, right? How are you going to handle that? How are you going to handle the influx? How are you going to handle the ebbs and flows? You will be moved by money, which means that you're only going to be in love with your business when money is involved. And that is a horrible way to have a relationship. Think about if you know what? I'm going to back down off that point. I'm backing down off that point because that lesson is for tomorrow morning, right? Tomorrow morning, I'm going to be talking about the relationship that you should have with your business. So I'm going to save that for tomorrow morning. If you want that, you got to tune in tomorrow at 8 a.m., okay? But right now, again, we're talking about how to start a business the right way. I have to be honest with you. Most people don't come to me and ask me how to start a business the right way. They want to learn how to start a business, a successful business. They want to learn how to start a business that is going to be sustainable. And that's why I did that teaching on February 1st. I did a teaching on how to start a sustainable business, because that's what people want to know. They really want to know how to make money in business, but very rarely do I have someone specifically ask the question, how do I start a business the right way? How do I start it the right way? So I'm going to give you 4 really quick tips. Again, please, please, please invite someone to join us tonight so that they can get these tips and put them to use in their own business, okay? So the first thing, the first pitfall that you need to, or the first thing that you need to do in order to avoid pitfalls, right, is to start with integrity. Start with integrity. And I'll say it one more time for the person who just tuned in. Start with integrity. What does this mean? It means that you do everything above board, right? There are so many people out here who are using manipulative tactics to build a business. There are so many people out here. I remember there was this woman who I thought that I wanted to have as a mentor to me in a specific area of life. It turns out that, God felt she was better used in another area of my life. But there was an area that I wanted her to mentor me. And I felt like she would be the perfect mentor. But what I realized is that in that area, she wasn't really the strongest, right? But the thing is that if you don't have that level of discernment, if you don't have, the wisdom that is necessary to say, you know what, this person might not be a good fit to mentor me in this area, but they're probably a great fit to mentor me in another area, you will find yourself connected to people who may be using tactics that are not right, that lack integrity. So many people, one of my girlfriends, I was talking about this in my accountability group today. One of my girlfriends posted about it, that many people like to use spiritual manipulation. That is something that literally turns my stomach. I can't stand it, right? This curl up, right? I can't stand it. People who want to use spiritual manipulation to get people to do what it is that they want them to do and to spend money. That's not okay. You can't allow yourself to be manipulated by someone who lacks integrity, and you don't want to be the individual who lacks integrity. Everything that you do should be honest. Be honest about your skill set. I had a conversation with one of my mentors yesterday, and she asked me, do you feel like you can do it? Are you confident? Is that a service that you feel like you can deliver? And she was clear. She said, you know what? I'm not telling you not to do it. I'm not telling you that I lack confidence in your ability to do it, but you have to know that you are capable of executing the task that has been given to you. Don't tell your clients that you can do something that you cannot do. Do not overpromise and underdeliver, right? Don't have a beautiful brand but bad business ethics. Don't operate a messy business. That's not okay. That's absolutely not okay, right? So you want to make sure that you start with integrity, because the thing is that the way that you operate your business is eventually going to be exposed. What you say that you can or cannot do is eventually going to be exposed. And when that exposure comes, when the light is shining on you and your business, you want everything to be above board. You want everything to be real. You want everything to be genuine and honest, right? You don't want to sign a contract with the client telling them that you can do something for them and then you fall short because you know that you never could in the first place. I tell my clients all the time, and not even clients, potential clients, before you sign a contract with me, one thing that I tell them all the time, your money does not do me any justice if you're not going to do the work. So what does that mean? In my line of work, I help people to build their businesses. So I help them to start, I help them to grow, to expand, to multiply, to scale. I help them to build their businesses, right? Whatever level they're on, that's what I help them to do. I help them to build business, right? So the thing is that if you come to me and you don't want to do the work on your end that is necessary in order to build your business using the strategies and tactics that I have given you, what does it benefit me? Right? If the nature of my job is that I build businesses, I have to have proof of that. So I have to have proof that a business started out here, but it grew, way up over there, somewhere off the camera screen. Y'all can't even see my hand, right? So it grew, it started here, but it excelled and went to a totally different level. If I can't show proof of that, what does that benefit me? How do people know that I can build businesses if I've never built one, right? So the thing is that if I say that I build businesses, the first business I have to build is mine. I can't be out here telling people that I can build their businesses, but I'm not growing my own. That doesn't make any sense. That lacks integrity. So when you are starting your business, start with integrity. Start with what you can commit to. I always tell people that consistency is relative. Commitment is not. Commitment is not. It's not. But consistency, it is relative, right? It is relative to what you can do. If you say that I can do a live broadcast every single week, you need to do a live broadcast every single week and just be consistent. That is your level of commitment and that is your level of consistency. The way that you show your commitment to your business is through consistently doing one live broadcast every single week. You may be like me and you say, you know what? I can do anywhere between, 2 to 5 broadcasts in any given week. So that means sometimes it may be 2, some weeks it may be 5. But there is where the integrity is established, right? where you tell people that this is what I can do and you actually deliver on it. So you want to start with integrity. Start with integrity. For those of you who are just now joining us, we are talking about the pitfalls or how to avoid the pitfalls of starting a business. And in order to avoid those pitfalls, there are some things that you must start with. The first thing that you need to start with is integrity. The second thing that you must start with is mindset. And I actually probably should have had this as number one, right? So let me say that these are in no particular order. They're in no particular order, but I believe that mindset is of the utmost importance. It's of the utmost importance, right? So when you are looking to start a business, you first have to focus your mindset, right? That if your mind is not conditioned for all of the things that are going to come as a part of the process of starting a business, growing a business, even if you're in the stage where you say, you know what, Tiffany, I've been in business, for 2 or 3 years now, but I'm looking to get to that next level. The only way that you are going to move from the level that you're currently on to the level that you desire to be at is through your mindset, right? You have to have the right mindset. Your mind has to be conditioned for success. Your mind has to be focused on success. You can't have all of these distractions. Ladies, all of those emotional distractions, okay? All of the people, the men's in them, who try to serve as distractions, don't let them. Don't get caught up in your emotions, sis. I'm telling you. It'll get you every time. It'll have you all jacked up every single time, right? So you have to keep the emotions under control, right? So you have to start with the right mindset. Start with your mind being centered. Start with believing that you're going to be successful. And whatever you believe is what's going to happen. What you believe that you can attain or you can achieve in your business is the level of success that you're going to see. If you have all of this doubt and negativity clouding your mind, all you're going to see is the manifestation of that doubt and negativity. If you have all of these naysayers and dream killers and demonic distractions around you, all you're ever going to experience is the negativity of that. You will experience the weight of that, right? So you have to start with the right mindset. A lot of people, again, they want to jump from square one to $1 million business. And that's not how it happens. And let me tell you something else. $1 million doesn't happen for everyone in the same time frame. For some people, it may take them 5 years. Some people, it may take 7. Some people, it may take 10 or 15 years. Even 6 figures, right? Forget $1 million. Let's start with the 6-figure mark. For some people, you can hit 6 figures in your first year if you have the right formula and you've gotten the right help. And we'll talk about that with our next point. You have the right help, the right formula, and the right focus. You can hit 6 figures in a year, right? No problem. It's easy. But if you don't have the right mindset, 6 figures is going to seem unattainable for you. Okay? So it may take you 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 years before you ever see a 6-figure year in your business. And somebody else who sees that 6 figures is mindset. Right? Because you have the same wherewithal, the same ability, the same talent. You have the same 24 hours as the person who hit that 6-figure mark. And it's just a matter of what you do with your 24 hours. What are you doing with your 24 hours that's really going to set you apart? What are you doing with your 24 hours that's going to help you to reach the goal that you have, right? So it's funny because I did some work at the beginning of the day. I took a break during the middle of the day to take care of some personal things. And then I kind of have a second shift. I tell people all the time, I work 2 shifts in any given day, right? The first shift is usually from about 5 or 6 in the morning until maybe about 1 or 2 in the afternoon. Sometimes I get a short little break. It depends on the day. Sometimes I get a short little break. And then I typically work from like 3 to 11, right? So I work 2 8-hour shifts almost every day. It's a 16-hour day almost every day. So the thing that I had to realize, and I said to myself today, is that in this second 8 hours, I literally told myself this today, mindset. Here's a mindset example. I told myself I want to achieve more in the second 8 hours of the day than I did in the first 8 hours of the day. The only difference between what I got done in the first 8 and the second 8 is the fact that I am more focused, right? That I believe that it's possible. I have the same set of 8 hours, right? The same 8 hour time frame, but I'm going to do more in the second 8 hours than I did in the first 8 hours because of mindset. Focus, right? Now that everything is out of the way and I've completed all of the running around and things I need to do, I got my second win. And I'm like, I'm about to knock this to-do list out, right? Before I even sat down in front of a notebook or a calendar or an agenda, I had the mindset to believe that I was going to knock it out. Whatever goals I have, whatever else I need to achieve in this day, I'm going to knock it out the box. And I'm still going to be in bed on time because I got to get up and do it all over again tomorrow, right? Okay, so for those of you who are just now joining us, we are talking about how to avoid the pitfalls of starting a business. The first thing that you must do is start with integrity, right? The second thing that you need to do is start with the right mindset. The third thing that I'm going to give you to do is to start with an expert. Start with an expert. You may say, Tiffany, well, I'm just now starting out, so I don't have any money. I mean, there are experts like me and others who I know who have things that can help you in your business that are free. As a matter of fact, I'm going to tell you about a few of them. The first thing that you can do is you can join my free Build Your Own Brand Challenge. It's going to be taking place this weekend. So it starts on February 16th, which is Saturday, right? It's a free 3-day challenge to help you build your brand. It's free. It's going to be quality information. If you participated in the Cast the Vision Challenge, I had so many people message me after that challenge and they were like, we didn't know it would be this much work. Well, why did you think it wouldn't be? Did you think because it was free, I was going to skate you? Because it was free, I was going to do it half behind? I wasn't going to make you really work? No. It's still going to have value and you're still going to have to do work, right? So you can join the free Build Your Own Brand Challenge. It's called the BYOB Challenge, okay? Not the kind of BYOB that you're probably thinking about, but BYOB Challenge, all right? And then I also have this thing. It's called my Free Prosperity Blueprint. What it is the keys that I have learned and that I implement and that all of my clients must follow in order to be successful and make money. It's free. Free Prosperity Blueprint. You can get both of them by going to my website. Free. Right? So every expert, any expert who is worth their weight should have some things that are free and some things that they have escalating offers, right? That's a totally different broadcast for another time where I'll have to teach you how to create escalating offers. But they literally have things. In my company, I have things that range from $3.99 to $1,000 to $3,000 a month, right? My elite management clients, they're paying me $2,000, $3,000 a month easy, okay? So for the duration of their program, they're cutting that check. It's no problem. But then there are some people who come to me and they say, Tiffany, I don't have any money. What can I do? You can get the free Prosperity Blueprint. I have free challenges. I have free workbooks, free downloads, free. And then there are people who fall somewhere in between, right? So the point is that in order for you to start with an expert, you don't have to have a lot of money. You don't. One thing that I will tell you, I always tell this story. I started my business with $0, and I'm not exaggerating. Forget having money to start a business. I didn't have money to pay bills. Ooh, yeah. I was on a struggle bus, okay? I've told this story a million times over. I will continue to tell it because it is a sensational story. I will admit it's sensational to go from, $0 and $0 to even pay my bills. I lost my job. I had absolutely no savings. I'm not lying. No savings whatsoever, right? And I started my business out of a need. I started running my business and operating as the business owner out of a need. And from there, I grew my business. You all want to know how I grew my business? Through pre-orders. That's how I grew my business. There's no secret there. There's a formula to it, but it's no secret that I started my business from pre-orders. People would put a 50% deposit on the products and things that I was offering, and then they would have to pay 50% upon delivery. That's how I started my business. And I started with products. Right? So, as someone who started with no money in the bank, again, it's sensational, but I don't recommend it. I struggled so hard. Oh my goodness, y'all. I struggled so bad. I had more peace. That's one thing that I definitely had, because I wasn't worried about working for somebody else. But I struggled so bad when I was starting my business because I did not have the reserves. If you have a job right now and you're trying to start a business, stop complaining and crying. You have an investor. Like, literally, when people come to me and they're like, oh, I hate my job, I'm trying to start a business. Why do you hate the number one investor in your business? Why? I wish that I had time to develop a plan for my business before I started, but I didn't. Again, it makes for a sensational story. It adds to my credibility. I think that it builds the trust factor, because if you know that I started my business with $0 and you got a couple of dollars, we can definitely do something with your couple of dollars if I can do something with my $0, okay? So again, it sounds good. It makes for a great story, but it's not the story that I want for my clients. It's not the story that I want for any of you. So the thing is that you need money so that you can invest in the services of an expert to help you skip the line. And I already gave the analogy at the beginning of the broadcast, so I'm not going to give it again. But hiring an expert saves time, energy, and money. That's the thing about investing. Yes, investing requires time, energy, and money, but it helps you in the long run to spend less of that. Right? And the thing is that even if you have the money and you don't use the time wisely, then you're wasting time. You're wasting time. Okay? So start with an expert. I get this question a lot as well. People ask me, they say, well, how do I know who I can trust? Get proof. Get proof. Any client who comes to me and wants to work with me, I will give them the phone number of another client. I do it all the time. If somebody joins my business builder program, I'll give them the, I check with my clients, of course, right? But I'll give them the phone number to one of my current clients or a previous client. So talk to them. They can ask them. It's a private conversation. They can ask them anything that they want to ask them. You can check my references, right? Yes. So even as a business owner, being self-employed, I have references. You can check the results. Anybody can. I don't care who it is. If somebody comes into my 6-figure setup program, I'm going to give them the phone number of a current or previous client from the 6-figure setup program. Somebody comes into my elite management program, I'm going to give them the phone number and email address of someone who's either currently in the program or who completed the program. And they can ask them any questions that they want to make sure that what I say I can do is the real deal. It's okay, right? It's okay to get proof. I did a free webinar, maybe back in August, called Show Me the Money. It was a free webinar where I literally showed my financial statement to the people who tuned into the webinar. So they were literally able to see, and that one was around, I was sharing my story about like how I pretty much lost all of my money in 1 year and how God rebuilt it. It wasn't even me. I'm not going to take the credit. I lost it all, but God gave it all back times 10. So that's what the point of the webinar was, is that I literally showed people how I went from making like $1,000 or $1,500 a month to making $7,000, $8,000, $9,000, $10,000 in a month, right? So I was able to show that. I didn't have any problem showing it. I wasn't putting it on social media. The people who tuned into the webinar were prohibited from putting it on social media because it's not their business. This is only for the people who really wanted to know, right? But I don't have a problem showing proof. Any expert who you work with should not have a problem showing proof. No expert. So if you want to know what's real and what's not, ask for the proof. I had someone once say that they would not work with an expert unless they could see their tax statements. I'm not showing you my tax statements because there's so much more on a tax statement than just like numbers. Like it's so personal. But if you want to see my financial statements where I track my money, and I literally showed them, like I showed them, I have a client that pays me $300 a month. I have a client that pays me $1,000 a month. I have a client that pays me like I literally showed them, right? The individual payments. Every payment is not $1,000 payment a month. Some payments were $99 a month. Some were $100. That's the same thing. I'm sorry. $99. Some were $1,000, right? Some were $500 a month. But I literally showed them this proof. I showed them the proof. I allowed them to talk to previous clients. No problem. So whenever you are thinking about starting, in order to avoid pitfalls, and this is a major pitfall, that I'm harping on this particular point because this is a major pitfall. It grieves me, and I'm not just saying this, but it really, really grieves me when people come to me and they have been screwed over by someone who promised to help them. I could not imagine, like I'm trying to think, I don't think that I've ever experienced being done wrong by someone who promised to help me in business. Now, maybe someone who was contracted for a service. So like, for example, I had contracted a photographer to donate their services for this a nonprofit client's event, and the photographer flaked. I will never work with them again. They haven't gotten an email, not an inquiry, not a text message, not a nothing, not an invite to nothing from me ever since. And they never will, right? So that's one thing. But I've never been done dirty. Like I've never spent my money on something and not gotten something in return. So it really grieves me when people are out here and y'all, oh my God, the amount of money that people pay and get screwed over. Oh, it's scary. I mean, people who are paying like $10,000 a month for services. Oh, goodness. And get screwed over. Like never get what they were promised. The formula didn't work. They ended up not even, this is a really big one, right? That you'll hire a business coach or a business consultant, but then they pass you off to one of their associates. I couldn't imagine. Like, this is the type of thing that happens all the time to people. People, y'all, I have heard stories of people using money from their 401k to invest in a business coach or a business consultant who screwed them over. I couldn't imagine dipping into my retirement to fork out $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 and then be screwed over by a business coach or consultant. I don't know what just happened. There we go. Like, I really couldn't imagine. So when you are trying to avoid the pitfalls, hire an expert. Hire an expert. It's okay. And again, if you can't hire the expert that charges $1,000 a month, find the one. My first business coaching program cost me $150 a month. And even that was a stretch, again, because I didn't have any money, like none, right? So when I started in that program that was costing me $150 a month, I wish I could go back to investments that were $150 a month. I just blinked and spent $100. Every time I blink, I'm spending $150 right now. It's just gone out the window. Like, I wish that I could go back to a monthly investment of $150 to grow my business. But that's where I had to start. I did not start with the coach who was charging me $500 a month or $1,000 a month. That's not where I started. And you don't have to feel like that's where you have to start in order to be successful. All I'm saying is that in order to avoid the pitfalls, you need to start with expert help and make them show you proof. If you come to me for help and you say, you know what, Tiffany, I need to talk to one of your previous clients, it's not a problem. I don't have anything to hide. And they're going to tell you the real deal. They're going to tell you the real deal, okay? So for those of you who are just now joining us, thank you for tuning in. I appreciate you tuning in. We are talking about how to avoid the pitfalls of starting a business. Okay. And 3 tips that I have given so far is to start with integrity. That's number one. Start with integrity. Next is start with the right mindset. Okay. Number two is start with the right mindset. Number three is to start with an expert. So get expert help and also ask for proof. Now, whether you're just now starting out, you're looking to go to the next level, you're starting a new branch, wherever you are in your business, get expert help and ask them for proof. It's okay. At every level, you need that expert help, and it's okay to ask them for proof. Okay? And then the last thing that I'm going to give you, and then I'm going to open up for any questions that you may have. Excuse me. Last question. I'm sorry, last point, and then I'll take questions. Is to start with preparation. Start with preparation. And all that means, again, I did a broadcast about this on February 1st, so I'm not going to get too deep into it today, right now. You guys can watch the replay of that on my YouTube channel. But start with preparation simply means start with a plan. Do not wake up tomorrow morning and say that you want to be an event planner and you've never planned an event. Actually, you know what? Let me backtrack. You can wake up tomorrow and say that you want to be an event planner. Don't wake up and start an event planning business tomorrow and you've never planned an event. That doesn't make any sense. Why don't you lay out a plan for how it is that you can build up your event portfolio, for how it is that you can take the business to the next level, for how it is that you can grow your brand, right? How can I start from where I am in order to get to where I want to be? What is that end result? What's the end goal? Right? A lot of times people come to me and they don't even know what the end result is. So you plan to just work in your business for the rest of your life? That's your $1 million plan. Right? So you want to start with preparation. Start with a good understanding of where you want to end up, where you want this thing to go. And then, like I mentioned in that broadcast in the class that I did on February 1st, right? Start with preparation, and you have to prepare every area of your life. Every area. I mean, your relationships, family, friends, spiritual, financial, physical, mental, emotional, your time, your energy, everything. Every area of your life has to be prepared to take on this new beast of an assignment. Everything. Okay? So start with preparation. Those are my tips for you all today. And I'm going to end there.